and welcome to another edition of the Qatar podcast. And before we start our watch along. We're in the road to 500 subs, and thank you for all who've subscribed and those who will subscribe. Thank you very much for your support. And replay crew are most welcome. Yes, and we have a new segment, announcements and whatnots. Uh, the next topic for my podcast, my next watch along will be on uh, Wednesday here in the Philippines. That's Tuesday night in the States with Hulk versus Wolverine and Hulk versus Thor. And see you then. Now we have Superman, the animated series, season 3, episodes 1 to 3. And yep, let's start the video. And I'm wondering why Superman, the animated series, is not on Max. Honestly. Why? Anyway, uh, let's start. Get your players to zero, and we'll start with episode 1 of season uh, 3 in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go. The title of this episode, of course, is Where There's Smoke. And this is the first appearance of Volcana in this animation. Superman crosses path with a fiery tempered metahuman thief named Volcana. She possesses pyrokinetic abilities and is on the run from a secret government agency. With the help of a telekinesis psychologist, Superman hopes to locate and help the misguided Volcana before her fire is put out permanently. Where there's smoke. I first saw Volcana in an episode of Justice League, the animated series, and I sort of watch did a watch back for Superman, the animated series, and yeah. Did you see what they did with Superman, uh, Superman L? I mean, like, it's really funny how they messed up the whole uh, franchise. This so we have Daniel's hot topics in the chat. Hello, hi man. So Daniel said, "I grew up watching the series. I just don't get why they made this version of Superman so weak. Honestly, this is uh, this is based on the 1986-87 reboot for Superman based on John Byrne's work. His power levels by then were reduced. So this is not uh, the Silver Age, Bronze Age Superman version. And thanks for subbing, man. And this version of Superman is the one that they base Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman back in the 90s. Same, it's the same template, man. This is really cool, actually. Making Superman more interesting uh, by being weaker. So Daniel said, "Did you know that pre-crisis Superman could push planets around and ever the whole solar system?" Yeah, I know, man. Without thinking about the effects of physics to the solar system, he can push various planets at the same time. it's uh, it's wild, and that's I think they explained it better in the Mr. Majestic uh, comic book way back in the early 2000s, if you remember that 2000s or the late 90s, the early 2000s. Yeah. So the portrayal of Clark Kent here in this animation is not a nerd, not a dork. So that's a plus. Daniel said, post crisis Superman was so nerfed that with great difficulty could barely lift a Boeing 747 jet. Uh, it's called inertia and gravity. But yeah, they tried to make Superman weaker, and comic sales reflected the change. But gradually, they changed Superman's power levels back to grow almost, you know, but he still has to breathe in space once in a while. Hence the beginning of the Superman using the mask, the oxygen mask. The people who made those changes were John Byrne, Marv Wolfman, plus the editor Mike Carlin. If you remember Superman having difficulty lifting a 747, it's more similar to Max, the Fleischer cartoons from the 40s. So our timestamp is 7 minutes and 8 seconds. But this version of Superman is actually better than the one we're gonna get in 6 months. Man. Daniel's hot topic says this Superman needs a spacesuit to breathe in space, and he was hurt by an anti-aircraft gun. He was rolling around in pain when that happened. Yeah, that's how you make uh, a a Superman more interesting because he has to work very hard. Unlike, let's say, the version we had with Christopher Reeve, the version we had during the Bronze Age, Silver Age. Although the Bronze Age, they tried. Denny O'Neil tried to reduce Superman's strength back then, but eventually they gradually grew his strength. Sorry about the noise. We have delivery, and the mercs for all those toys with the suits, and is really fun. Daniel said even the Fletcher animated series could lift buildings and do awesome things. No, he was not. Honestly, man, he was not stronger. This version of Superman is the same as the version we had in the Justice League animated series. Although the voice actor was different. They have Tim Daly plays Superman here, while George Newbern voiced Superman in the Justice League animated series. So the one where the animation where Superman is most powerful was the version in the 1966 animation, uh, Superman, The New Adventures of Superman, plus the version we had in Super Friends. Honestly. Oh my God, I knew right. I missed the Snyderverse. I was so upset when David Zaslav and James Gunn rebooted the DC universe when I was just getting when it was just getting good. We got Black Adam and Henry Cavill announced Man of Steel. Three, two, what? Well, Henry Cavill's Clark Kent is reminiscent of George Reeves' Superman, Clark Kent, honestly. Every other Superman except for what's his name? Dean Kane's version is the same as Christopher Reeve. This version of Superman, of course, and Clark Kent is not a dork at all. Although the main problem I had with the John Byrne reboot of Superman was the Legion of Superheroes. It was a can of worms when they did it back in the late 80s, early 90s. They rebooted and rebooted until you know the crisis on infinite the effects of crisis on infinite earths has brought us more reboot and retcons as we that than we need. I was so pumped for Man of Steel 2. We would have gotten Brainiac coming to Earth. Superman and Wonder Woman would have fought Brainiac, and I bet Black Adam would made a cameo appearance. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a missed opportunity. It's so, well, they chose, they chose this path. Although, if Dwayne Johnson had control of the Black Adam franchise, we would have, of course, Superman and versus Black Adam in some form or another. It would have been cool. Although I think the Hamadaverse is sort of a letdown. The effects, the VFX we have is looks cheap than the ones they use for Man of Steel. Now we get this horrible James Gunn Superman. David Cornsweet already looks horrible as Superman. The first scene was we see him in a crater coughing blood. They already nerfed him. I think they made him not to look like Henry Cavill. Honestly, the first movie I saw with David Cornsweet was Twister, and he had a very little impact on that movie. Hey, we're in the part where our timestamp 15 minutes and 23 seconds. David Cornsweet was in Twister. He was one of the crew on the other side. Yeah, he was a punk there. Twisters, not with the S. It's Twisters with what's his name? I watched that in Max, and we have Sean Franklin in the chat. Hi, man. So how is it, Sean? Glad you're in the chat. The the head of this government agency looks like a copy of Nick Fury. David Cornsweet must have been young if he was. No, it's Twisters 2024. It's Twisters with what's his face. Hey Sean, what do you like? Superman needs to brace himself in order to deflect a laser shot like that. What did you think about the Flash? Well, it was a missed opportunity for DC. Honestly, could have been better. The effects could have been better. The story could have been better. They really followed the gun notes, the ransom notes in that movie. So I think it was sabotage. Sean Franklin says, "Do you like VP Trooper?" What's VP? What's VP Trooper, Sean? Uh, I'm not familiar. VP Trooper. Daniel said, that was a good movie. I love The Flash because it brought back Michael Keaton's Batman, and Earth 80, 89. Michael Keaton was my first live action Batman I ever saw in 1992. I was 5 at the time. Yeah, well, the first live Batman I saw was Batman 66. Then there's Batman 89, but I still think this is a personal my personal opinion. I think that Michael Keaton is just too too small, too short to be Batman. Sean Fra- Sean Franklin says VP Trooper just like Power Rangers. I haven't seen VP Troopers. So we finish episode 1 of this. Well, I rate this episode as 7.5 over 10. Now we're starting episode 2 of season 3. The title of this episode is Nighttime. Superman learns that the Dark Knight has been missing from Gotham for some time now. Superman finds Robin, who has been battling all the crime in Batman's absence, such as Batman Rogues, the Penguin, the Riddler, Bane, the Mad Hatter, and Roxy Rocket. Disguised as Batman, Superman helps Robin investigate why his partner has disappeared, leading up to a confrontation with Brainiac. All right. Daniel's hot topic says the sad thing is they released the Flash during a worldwide pandemic. It was bad, and everyone was at home. Of course, not many people went to see the movie. It and it did not succeed. From what I heard, the Flash has too many free screening. I don't know, man, and I can't explain the pandemic part because Spider-Man: No Way Home was a major hit during the pandemic, during the same time. So it's weird. I think the Flash was affected with too much delay, over budget, and the ransom notes from James Gunn. I think he sabotaged the whole thing. Superman meets Roxy Rocket. Timestamp just to sync 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Daniel says, "Oh, I remember this episode. This is the episode where Superman dressed up as Batman and goes to Metropolis. And since it is Superman, he beats up everyone with ease. He beats the crap out of Bane." Yeah, it's that episode where he beats Bane almost to a pulp as far as animation can take us. This reminds me of all those old world's finest comics where Superman and Batman swaps identities. Huh. Also, this is the other animated feature where Tim Drake's Robin made an appearance outside of Batman, the animated series. Although the origin of Tim Drake in this animated series is almost the same as Jason Todd's comic book origin, the rebooted origin. Yeah, Bane uses all his strength and he can't even make Superman flinch. Superman must have felt like a god. This made, in my opinion, Bane a bit weaker than he was previously portrayed. Ghoul something. It's Ras Al Ghul. This is the time where Superman masquerades as Batman. Man. And Daniel said also Bane at the time in this episode was far stronger than ever because he was using a special kind of venom. He would he would have killed Batman with these. Yeah, he could have. Away.
Gusto mo bang may electric pang talaga na? Hindi mainit pa talaga.
Doesn't even know where the bathrobe is. Does he look bigger? Yeah. I enjoyed this uh, animation, even even though I didn't get to watch this in the late 90s, honestly. I sort of bought some some DVDs just to catch up with this anime back then. Robin's in charge. This must have been heaven for him. This Superman is much better than what we got. Batman laughing. Strange way, strange way to act. Oh, nanotech, nanites, penguin. The penguin is here, and yes,
Diyan ka na kumain. Diyan ka na kumain.
they DC just released a new trailer with David Cornsweet's Superman L, and it looks so mm, mid. Bane, Riddler, and Mad Hatter. Timestamp is 10 minutes. I just got the whole Superman the animated series at Walmart for 19.99. Wow, man, that was cool. Now, this is the fight between Superman and Bane. Man, this is. I miss Kevin Conroy's voice, honestly. He is the definitive animated Batman voice ever. And Bane is so full of hubris and is shock and is shock. They haven't noticed the cleft chin in Batman's face. Man, the whole concept of Riddler with the King came from Batman Forever. And that was easy, honestly. Batman, supposedly Batman, beating Bane. Curiouser and curiouser, says the Mad Hatter. And that very weird smile. Man, what's happening to marketing nowadays? I read something on Twitter that the Acolyte is the second most watched series on Disney Plus in 2024. So if that was true, why why has it been canceled? It's funny. All right. Timestamp is 14 minutes and 40 seconds for this episode. There's Bruce. Bruce is being controlled by this Kryptonian AI, Brainiac. It would have been dope if we at least experience a live version of Brainiac. They canceled Man of Steel 2, where we could have seen Daniel Craig as Brainiac. Man, I think David Cornsweet would be no hype for David Cornsweet Superman. Aaron Fisher says on his Twitter, I want to get excited about Superman, but I can't. Everything shown so far looks cheap compared to every other versions of the character. Superman and Lois nailed it and was on the CW. As a DC fan, this makes me sad. It really does. Well, I think James Gunn managed to sabotage the DC franchise, along with the approval, of course, of David Zaslav. Kal-El. The first animated version of Brainiac was the classic Brainiac, where he was not from the planet Kolu, but from the planet Mega. It's weird. It is still weird, actually. Brainiac, of course, appeared on the TV series Static Shock almost the same time as they did Superman, the animated series, and the latter Batman, the animated series. It's logical for Superman to feel the electric current. Somehow, I think Superman gets stronger each time he feels something similar to Son Goku. Daniel. Daniel's hot topic says Brainiac from Smallville, played by James Marsters, who was Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was an awesome Brainiac. Ah, it's hard to remember all the episodes of uh, Smallville, Smallville, but uh, I like that version too. And considering it's on the CW, the effects was of course cheaper, but somehow better than the effects I saw in Superman L. All right, now episode is over, and I rate this episode as an 8.5 over 10. Then we're on to the last episode for tonight, for today. It's morning here in the Philippines and night at the US. And let's play it. The title of this episode is New Kids in Town. This features the Legion of Superheroes. It is the 30th century, and the everlasting villain, Brainiac, has found a way to travel back in time. He returns to Smallville to destroy Clark Kent before he can become Superman. Three Legionnaires from the future travel back in time to help Clark fight Brainiac. And Daniel said, speaking of Son Goku, I love Dragon Ball Z. I got into Dragon Ball Z in the year 2000. I remember I came home from school, wanted to watch Sailor Moon, but instead I found Dragon Ball Z, and that's an amazing story for you finding animes like that. I love anime. I remember the first time I watched Dragon Ball Z, man, the late, I think it was the late 80s. My memory is so mixed up sometimes. I'm having the Mandela effect sometimes when I remember stuff. That's how I discovered Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I discovered Dragon Ball Z first, then I watched the first Dragon Ball series. Yeah, I remember the young Son Goku, and it was funny as hell. It's Brainiac, another episode where we see Brainiac from a possible future, thus proving that time is fluid. So we have the Legion of Superheroes, Chameleon Boy, Cosmic Boy, and Saturn Girl. Daniel said there's a YouTuber called Un Unrelent Unreal Unreal Gaming Unrelenting Gaming, and he's awesome, but he likes to pick on Yamcha. That Yamcha is the weakest of the Z fighters. However, Yamcha could beat the crap out of this Superman easy. I don't think Yamcha was that weak. Maybe he means the Yamcha from Dragon Ball Evolution, which sucked. James Morrison uh, also played Piccolo in that movie. Remember, I remember I had a DVD of that movie, and somehow I got rid of all my DVDs just to have just to open some space in the house, in the room. The Legion of Superheroes was one of my favorite comic book characters as I grew up. Honestly, I remember those early late 60s version of the Legion plus the early 70s with Dave Cockrum and later Mike Grell in doing the art. Daniel says Yamcha, now stated by Akira Toriyama, rest in peace, said that Yamcha is stronger than Turtles now, and the villain boss from the Tree of Might DBS movie. I remember that movie. That's one of the first movies, Dragon Ball movies I watched during the late 90s. Turtles, Turles, I mean, Turtle. Turles was the guy who looked like Son Goku. And what what else to say? Yamcha. should have been Bulma's boyfriend. But Bulma likes Vegeta. Honestly, how did that happen? Clark Kent showing off against Kenny is unlike Clark at all. Daniel said, "Yeah, they never explained why Turles look like Goku. I think he's a sort of clone or of Braddock. Remember Goku's dad, uh, Kakarot's dad. So we're in the 6 minutes 28 seconds mark of this episode, and it's good to discuss some other stuff to get my mind off uh, the impending flop that is Superman L. During my younger days, I like Batman more than Superman, although it developed to a liking of the Tanagarian Wing Wonder Hawkman, which is another comic book character that they messed up with. The problem started on Hawkman with when they made Hawkman into a single being. Daniel said, "I hope they bring back Braddock back in the future. I really hope so. When this could do it, but they can say Braddock survived and was in a state of suspended animation. This is how I would write it. Continuity wise, how is the new continuity for Dragon Ball? I haven't watched the rest of the Dragon Ball series for a long time. After Dragon Ball GT, it's off continuity actually, and I just watched the movies for the newer versions starring God Mode Goku. But oh my OMG, I was so excited when Broly joined the team and now is in training with Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus. A lot of people hate Broly because they say he's overrated. Actually, I enjoyed uh, Broly, even in his earlier versions. It's weird how people would say that to to a very cool character. I have a bit, technically three movies with the OG Broly, plus the Dragon Ball, uh, the latest version with Broly, also the movie. Red Underpants. Well, I blame James Gunn for re-adding the red trunks. Okay, we're in the 10-minute 21-second mark of this movie. Daniel says, ever since I was a kid and I saw the first Broly movie, I thought he was super cool always. Wanted him to join the Z Fighters. I said, if this guy joins the Z Fighters, they could be OP. The Z Fighters would. I think, personally, I think Goku is over OP every time. Yeah, dominate. I think Goku is OP. I mean, every time he gets defeated, he gets more powerful. Who does that remind you of? Hulk? I remember Dragon Ball GT because it was animated here in the Philippines way back then. I also have the complete DVD of that series with uh, Super Saiyan number 4, the monkey version. I played a lot of Dragon Ball games back then. First on PS2, then PS3, then PS4.
Tayo mo na lang.
Dito ka. Ako na magsasara. Halika na. Halika na.
These guys
Kakain kita.
don't know that Brainiac can really turn them into pulp. Kenny should have been killed with that stunt he did. If you read the Legion of Superheroes, you'd remember that uh, Chameleon Boy is the son of R.J. Brand, the creator of the Legion. Man, a drone, a Brainiac drone invading the Kent residence. Our timestamp 14 minutes 5 seconds.
Ayun na, kumakain ka na.
Hindi ba ang nabubutis ko?
So, so Clark has developed his X-ray vision during this time in his past. Uh oh. I wonder why Clark doesn't remember meeting Brainiac this in this early stage of his life in Smallville. While in the first season, when he met Brainiac, he doesn't know who Brainiac is. It's weird, man. Continuity, what? Or did Saturn Girl mess with his mind? Superman, actually, Superboy is more like it. Clark is has developed his strength by then, by this time. Remember Clark in Man of Steel. Yeah, a young Superman. Brainiac reminds me of the Terminator. I really like the Legion of Superheroes. This is one of those comic book I followed through the years. I I couldn't follow the retcon version of the Legion post Zero R. It's I don't know, not my Legion anymore. The worst Legion series I read was the one with Brian Michael Bendis. He changed everything.
Hmm. Ano kang trabaho, bakit nabilis ako na uwi natin?
The son of Jor-El, Niels.
Niready ko na yung lugaw mo doon. Ipapainit na lang, kakakain mo lang. Kakakain mo lang. So, ano, yan pa. Hmm. Alam mo, tatapos.
Man, this is an awesome episode. Brainiac is defeated and is hurled towards the sun. So cool. Well, and we have Sin Havoc in the chat. You are late, my friend. Well, well, well. Hashtag late. Yeah, late. And they did the amnesia thing. No worries. Uh, you should do the replay crew. This is my last episode for tonight. And Chameleon Boy, Saturn Girl, and what's his face? Cosmic Boy. They also appeared in Smallville and also Supergirl. So it was the Legion who gave Clark the glasses. Well, yeah, well, you didn't get a notification because I started wee bit earlier than scheduled. Anyway, that's it. Episode 3. I rate this episode as well, better than 9 over 10. Yeah. This is a good episode for me. And yes, since Sin Havoc's late and we're about to go out, like, subscribe, and share this channel. Of course, thanks, Sin. And yeah, that's it for tonight. See you again on Wednesday here in the Philippines, Tuesday night in the States. Sell is the way. I'm out of here. Yeah, where is it? Thank you for all who's been in this stream. See you soon.
Now my mind is clear right now. At last all too well, I can see where we all soon will be. If you strip away the myth from the man, you will see where we all soon will be. Jesus, you started to believe the things they say of you. You really do believe this talk of God is true, and all the good you've done will soon get swept away. You've begun to matter more than the things you say. Listen, Jesus, I don't like what I see. All I ask is that you listen to me, and remember I've been your right hand man all along. You have set them all on fire. They think they found a new Messiah, and they'll hurt you when they find they're wrong. I remember when this whole thing began. No talk of God, then we called you a man. And believe me, my admiration for you hasn't died. But every word you say today gets twisted around some other way, and they'll hurt you if they think you've lied. Nazareth, your famous son, should have stayed a great unknown. Like his father carving wood, he'd have made good. Tables, chairs, and oaken chests would have suited Jesus best. He'd have caused nobody harm, no one alarm. Listen, Jesus, do you care for your race? Don't you see? We must keep in our place. We are occupied. Have you forgotten how put down we are? I am frightened by the crowd, for we are getting much too loud, and they'll crush us if we go too far. If they go too far. Listen, Jesus, to the warning I give. Please remember that I want us to live, but it's sad to see our chances weakening with every hour. All your followers are blind. it's all gone sour.